the underground cable. That's the infrastructure which is crucial. Now, if there are any other little issues like tax or what, that can be looked at. But the infrastructure, we foresaw that and we put it there. Now, there were attempts by the telephone companies to monopolize, but we said no. Electricity, the railway, and the internet backbone, they call it internet backbone, must be owned by the government, so that we are not there to make profit. We are there so they could insult us, play around with us, and we would not close them. We closed them. And I waited for the cows not to go to graze. The cows are going to graze. Fishermen are fishing. Uganda is continuing. We closed it like 5 years ago. Forgot about it. So we want to put discipline among them. There's no other issue. Otherwise, if they behave well, fairly, we shall open them up. We have no problem. The only thing there would have to be tax. Why the cost? I will check. Why the cost is not even lower? Does anybody here know? Wanyama, would you know? We shall find out and let you know why it is not even lower. Now, recently, I have been in talk with Elon Musk. He has been telling me that his satellite is called Starlink, that when I allowed him to come here, although it is satellite, but satellite was expensive, that's why we migrated from satellite to underground cable. But Elon Musk has been telling me that no, satellite is now cheaper. They call it last what? When they got the last person. Huh? Last mile. There's also something about, they say there about the person, the custom. Direct to the custom. So we are studying that. We shall, if it is true, we shall allow Elon Musk to bring his satellites here. If they can make that digital connection cheaper than the underground, then we shall. I became aware of this long before Katenda was born. When were you born? When were you born?
I was born 6 years after you came.
At that time, when
no, 4 years.
4 years?
Yes.
1990?
Yes.
Yeah, because when I visited China, 89, that's when I negotiated with what was the company? The one which did the internet? Huawei. That's when I negotiated with Huawei. So we were aware of all of that.
Let's first get some others and then we can come back. Okay? Thank you so much. Kasuku is a big internet personality. I'm saying Katende is a big internet. These are big internet personalities. All of them you see here. Mm-hmm. They have very interesting.
I'm very lucky to be.
Yes, indeed.
In the presence of such powerful people.
Our next question will be from Mr. Simon Kaheru.
Thank you, Natasha. Your Excellency, first of all, thank you for having us and giving us all this time. My question is pretty simple, and you've already started touching on it. I'm here on behalf of the East African Business Council. So my focus is private sector and regional. And I'm interested in you giving the young people a message around the NRM ideology being built on Pan-Africanism and your consistent championing of regional integration for economic reasons. Even today, you have spoken about it. But many of these young people, not only the ones in the room, but even the ones out there, do not make the link between regional integration, the production that has increased with Ugandans coming into the money economy, and the opportunities, direct and indirect, that they can receive. So we'd be happy for you to give them a detailed message around those opportunities. Thank you, Excellency.
This is where the Africans are in big danger if you don't wake up, your generation. Because there are two issues. Prosperity. Where does prosperity come from? Prosperity comes from a wealth creator like myself. Me, I'm a wealth creator. I'm not a parasite. I'm a cattle keeper. And I'm a grower of bananas. But when I grow bananas, and I keep cows and produce milk and produce beef, the Banyankore don't buy from me. Why? Because the Banyankore also have their own milk, their own beef, they don't buy from me. The ones who buy from me are the people of Kampala. So that's why me, I am a lover of Uganda. Because Uganda is the one which is crucial for my prosperity. You can see my cows there. And Tezob Jajja, Bastadeo. Now, they are the ones who buy my milk, who buy Uganda, Kampala, are the ones who buy my beef, who buy my milk, who buy my bananas. And that's why I say patriotism, love Uganda. Other people say love Ankole, love Buganda. I say, yes, I love those, but Uganda, I need it more than any of those. Because it's the one which will support my prosperity more. But then, because I'm a big producer, and other people are producing a lot, we have now discovered that Uganda is not enough to absorb our products. We need East Africa. We need Africa. So that's why we say patriotism, add on Pan-Africanism. You must love Africa for your own good. You must love Uganda for your own good. So when I see people talking about all sorts of things, but we're not talking about that, I feel sorry, very sorry. I'm very concerned about you people. By that time I will be in heaven with Ibrahim, we shall be sitting in heaven there. And we will be suffering here. Like Latin America, you can see Latin America the way it is happening. Why is Latin America miserable? And yet in terms of natural resources, it's actually much richer than the United States. If you look at the water, you look at the minerals, you look at the forests, Latin America is richer than the United States. Why should the United States be more prosperous than Latin America? Because of that difference of integration. When the American colonists separated from England, they formed the nucleus of the United States. The 13 colonies, they formed the nucleus, then they have been adding on. That's why in America you can easily succeed if you are a businessman. Because if you are in New York, you produce a product, you can sell it all the way up to California. 300 million people. Now in Latin America, you are in Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, you are here, if you produce a product, you can't. How would you succeed? Here in Africa, if I produce a product to go to here, I must negotiate. To go there, I must negotiate. That's why we have to try and revive this African community. Now, but there's also the issue of strategic security. That's why for us we support the Federation of East Africa. Because as we speak today, the Americans are on the moon. The Chinese are on the moon. The Russians are on the moon. The Indians are going to the moon. You fellows, we are here on Earth, here. The Europeans are looking at us from space like they are seeing us, we don't see them. This is very dangerous. And you have all these Katendes, all these fellows, influencers. What are you influencing? Why don't you say, you people, you are in danger? People are on the moon, we are here. They are seeing us, we don't see them. But can Uganda and the Americans, they have been saying so openly, they say for them, they want to be superior in land forces, superior on land, superior at sea, the Navy, superior in Air Force, superior in space. Where does that leave Africa? Africans are here, dance Pakachina, dance Pakachina. Yes, you can dance if you want, but please, look at your future. Where is your future? How will you be safe? How will you be safe in the world? Huh? So that's why you can bring my tablet. Can you bring my picture? Nikuli. I'm lucky to see this Jazzi Wanangi. Let me see me Wanangi. Let it find Changi. Bring my picture. Wanangi Katonda Jari. Abakuru bano bona bali wano ngenda kufuna mukisambala again. Tetubaddeko. So that's why we was talking of the East African. For economic prosperity, it must be economic integration in East Africa and the whole of Africa, a common market of Africa. We need a common market of Africa. We have started, and it's what we call CFTA, the Continental Free Trade Area, so that we can trade. The market is there. Actually, we have Africa, the Chinese are 1.5 billion inside China. But you find the Chinese dying for more markets. But now, China, somebody with 1.4 billion people is still hungry for more market. You, of a smaller number, you are not even bothered. Dance Bakachini, dance Bakachini. Are you not an endangered species? Why don't you see that? Why would the China get worried? Yet he has already got 1.4 billion people inside Mugurako. You are not bothered, you are just seeing. So that is for economic prosperity. But there is a strategic security. Because with the economic integration of East Africa, of the common market of Africa, we shall deal with the economy. Businessmen will have a market where to sell, and they will invest more. And if they invest more, they create jobs, the jobs they are talking about. Because if I'm a businessman, I sell more, I expand, I create more jobs. But that one does not address the issue of army. Because the common market doesn't involve army. Defense. We need an African political unit that can guarantee the defense of the black race. That's why we have been talking for the last 60 years of the East African Federation. East Africa would have the capacity to go to the moon and check on what those fellows are doing there. The moon is a common property. Mukora chiwano, umwezi. Nefika tuli wano, tuli dance mpaka chini. People on the moon, they are looking at us like, forget every normal. These insects which eat sugar. The insects, every moon, not each moon. Already look at every sky. Every normal. Children are doing normal, but you don't have any. When the creator doing no food, no together to take a day and this. So this is very dangerous. Make ambulatory, and fun and you can continue, Natasha, they bring my mind.
Okay. Our next question will be, thank you for your responses, Mzee, always very enlightening, always. I pray that they stick with us. The next question is from Hassan Chikomeko.
I want to first wish a happy new year. Your Excellency.
Hassan who?
Chikomeko. Hassan Chikomeko, Kana Kambata. I work with Fly Express, led by Chairman Peter Kagwa, and I'm your neighbor in Entebbe.
Okay.
I've been the youth chairperson of Entebbe Municipality.
Okay.
Allow me Mzee, Kamile Nkwebaze kuwa Jajja. Thank you for the peace. I'm one of the youth who appreciate what we have in Uganda. Webale nnyo nsaba Mukama akutukuumire nti akaseera ne bwe kaliba katuuse ng'ovuddeko olisigala okyawabula Uganda in terms of security and peace. Tulya, tunywa, tutambula byonna tubikola. Thank you very much. I want also to thank Madam Masera. If it wasn't her, I wouldn't have been here, for recognizing me. My question is, Your Excellency, having led Uganda for decades and having witnessed different generations, as Uganda prepares the next generation of leadership, what structures are you putting in place to ensure young Ugandans transition from dependency to productivity, especially in employment, skills development, and access to capital? Thank you, Your Excellency.
No, it is what we have already talked about. For the capital, we have all these funds we started, PDM, all those funds, they are there. For the beginners, for the richer ones, there is the UDB. We have put quite a lot of money in UDB. And we are going to keep adding on. Now, for the market, that's what we anticipated. That's why we negotiated with East Africa to have a common market. For infrastructure, you see what we have been doing. Electricity, the roads, now the railway. But now also to mindset change. That's why we are talking of the new syllabus in the schools, the skilling hubs, like you saw those young people there talking, So we are working on every side, software and hardware both. We are working on both for you to succeed. Software including attitude.
Thank you, Mzee. Thank you. Next question is from Marcela Kareche.
Mzee, you've already touched on Pan-Africanism, citing strategic security as a major reason. And you kind of preempted this question, but please repeat your wisdom. What lessons can we learn from America's actions in Venezuela, for example, recently?
Well, the one thing you can learn is that Venezuela, I don't know what they are fighting for. I'm still watching, studying it, because the Americans are saying that this was the Uganda August of June 1963. I remember I was at Ntare in the school. They hung this paper on the notice board. And I was so happy because
Happy birthday. You are finally 16 years of age. It is your time to stroll into a NERA office and get your first national ID.
to build East African Federation that year, 1963. But we come and take it and show, take it around. What come. Mureke. Now what okay, now you take it around. Go from here, this side. Keep it, it's your gift. So, I don't know what they are calling about. The Americans are saying that some of the Latin Americans are sending drugs to the U.S. But whatever the case, we shall find out. We shall learn more. But whatever the case is, you can see the gaps, which I'm telling you about. Because the Americans are operating from 4 dimensions. They're operating from sea, they're in the sea. The Latin Americans are not there. They don't have a navy. Then they can come with air force, and then space. They're in space. Now they are trying to come on land, which of course is very risky also for the Americans. There you come near, because even me, who has got a short range, I can harm you. But there you are at an advantage. You are seeing me in space, I'm not seeing you. You are in the ocean, I'm not there, I'm here. So this is what we are talking about, that the Africans, because of that was our target in 1963. And Mwalimu was going to move, but Kenyatta and Obote decided to remain big fishes in smaller ponds. Some people like that. When you're a big fish in a smaller pond, you feel very, very big. But when trouble comes, you may not survive. So, the issue of the strategic security of Africa is very crucial. East African Federation, I'm glad that East African leaders have never given up. You know, when we were last in Arusha, they appointed me as an advocate for the Federation, so that we are able to unite our land space, unite our sea space, have more resources to be able to build capacity in the 4 dimensions: on land, at sea, in the air, and in the space. Go to space. Let's go to space. We can't remain here when other people are in space and we think we are clever. Dancing and watching European football clubs. Very, very risky for you people. So you should wake up, and wake up the young generation. Yes, the young generation should have pleasure, but also they must have security, a secure future. And they have all the protection, because like East Africa is very strong. Because we can use Swahili. They are the same groups. You have Kenyans like Nyangweso, that Nyangweso is a Kenyan, is here. All those Sanyas are from Kenya. Then we have Congolese, also here, Banyarwanda, they are all. So East Africa is a very powerful unit for the black race. Yes, you can have smaller countries in the world, like in Denmark, but they all have a center of gravity. When they're in trouble, there's a big boy like the US to defend them. Now the African race have no center of gravity. And you are here just dancing in Pakachini, Very risky very risky. I was young like you. I would also dance, swim girls like this. But I would also remember to fight. Fight, study, fight, work, and to dance once in a while. But the problem is that we are now dancing all the time. Thank you very much.
Our next question is from Sean Ibrahim.
Jazzi with Jajja. Thank you, Mr. President, for the peace. I want to thank you in two dimensions. Being a very good peacemaker, you've made Uganda ekifo buli omu kyasobola okuba nga yeeyagaliramu ng'akola emirimu. Nange nasobola okufuna omwoga ogwa TikTok tukolera emirimu nga promoting Uganda positively. And another thing, I want to thank you for being a good father. Look at Natasha, Precious, Kamwine, my cousin. If it wasn't him, I wouldn't have been here. It is such a very big recognition for us who always fight for the government online. My question is, what motivates you to be the person you are? We've seen you on several occasions, you're doing the press-ups. Even recently, yesterday, I saw you standing in the rain without moving. Like, what motivates you to do all that at that age? And another thing, Mr. President, I'm 30 years, but I always pray for you. I no longer pray for myself. I pray for you. You live longer and longer. At least on my age, they subtract some age to give to you so that you can keep this country intact. Because at least maybe my purpose will not be very much, but your presence, over 40 million people are relying on you. They are there dancing, they are there fishing, farming, and all those things. My question is, what motivates you to be the person you are? My name is Sean Ibrahim.
Now, what motivates me is because I love myself. I love myself as a person of the Tau clan, oriented, as a Nyankore Mhoro, as a Ugandan, as an African. I'm very, 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 I love you people. Now I have children. All of you are my children and grandchildren. And we could see from the 60s when we were starting the forum, we could see that people didn't do this or that or that. We could be in danger. The world is not kind. If you are weak, you can disappear. And I don't want my race, my African people, to disappear. Or to become slaves. Because when you hear America, people who call Americans now are Europeans. Who went and took the land of the Indians. The Indians were stupid, they were not organized. And the Europeans had already tried to take our land. Those who came to South Africa, they are taking the land. In South Africa, in Zimbabwe, even here in Kenya, in the 1950s, we were learning of something they were calling the White Highlands. Part of Kenya was regarded as White Highlands. That's what they were teaching us. But what happened at that time, there were changes in the world which favored us. By 1900, the whole of Africa had been colonized. Our stupid chiefs had failed to defend us because they were fighting among themselves. So the whole of Africa had been colonized. But what happened was that in 1912, the Africans in South Africa formed the first resistance movement, the ANC. They formed modern people now. Actually, it started in the US, the black people there. Some of them started Pan-Africanism. There was a man called Marcus Garvey, another one called something else, I've forgotten their name, W.B. Du Bois. They started talking about African freedom, African freedom. When the whole of Africa had been colonized, except for Ethiopia. So in 1912, the Africans formed the ANC to resist. Then in 1917, we had good luck. Russia was taken over by communists. These are where people who had a different idea. They didn't agree with imperialism. The communists, they took over Russia. So they started working with our anti-colonial fighters. And then also, African witchcraft worked. Because the Europeans, because of their greed, started fighting among themselves. The First World War. Our African magic worked. They started fighting among themselves. The Germans and the British and all that group. And they mobilized our grandparents to go and fight for them. So our grandparents went and saw, oh, okay, this is how you fight with modern arms. So by the time they ended this First World War, their quarrels didn't end. Then they started the Second World War. That was even worse for them. By that time, they were so weak that countries like India had to get independence. Because they were not only colonizing us, they were colonizing also Asia. Asia, India, Indonesia, Vietnam, all those were colonies. So by the end of the Second World War, they were so weak, they couldn't keep India, Indonesia, Vietnam, and Africa was also on the way. Now, then 1949, China was taken over by communists. So the anti-imperialist bloc was very, very big and powerful. That's how they had to give up, say, give independence. But otherwise, really what they wanted was to do like what happened in America, where the indigenous people either disappear completely or survive as second class. So that's why this is what I cannot accept. You can see these wonderful people, my children, my grandchildren, you people. I want you to be free people. So I can't compromise on that. And because of that, we started fighting with our own fools here, who were wasting our time. I mean, what? Toka. You don't know what you are doing, and that he wants to be our president, Idi Amin. But you don't know what you are doing. And we are in war. We are in a war with serious people. Then you come here as a joker to waste our time. Get out. Toka. So that's really the motivation. Freedom for the black race. Freedom for the black race. insurance, freedom, and insurance of freedom for the black race. Now, about stamina and so on, this is partly also because of, I think I was lucky because my family, because the African people are very strong. The problem are
When you have the perfect response in your head, but your fingers just can't keep up. We've all been there. Typing, deleting, retyping.
the rurals are the ones who waste our time. But otherwise, Africans are very strong, especially in this area here. You can read what Stanley wrote. Those are explorers who came here, Huntington Speak, Stanley, they wrote, said, these Africans, these fellows are advanced. Who are advanced? Agriculture, bananas, cows. The problem was just our rulers who were always fighting one another, full of themselves, king, what. Then they divide us. But otherwise, the communities are very strong. Now, the luck I had was that my family never got involved so much in the colonial system, was never involved in the colonial system. My great-grandfather was alive when the Europeans came. He died, I think, around 1915. He never joined the church. He kept with his cows. He didn't join the colonial system. He didn't join the church. He died in 1915. Then my grandfathers were there. They were rich traditional people. They never went into the churches. They never joined the colonial system. They remained with the cows. They died, I think the last died around 1943 there. It was Kaguta who was the first person to go into the church. And by that time I was there myself also, so I went with him as a junior member, and we joined the church in 1947. But even when we joined, we remained traditional. See, traditional people are very strong. They are not very strong. Stamina, looking after cows, what. So things you find, even when I was joining the army, what they were doing in the army was much weaker than my lifestyle. As cattle keeper, you are very, very tough. So it's just luck, because I think if I had joined the chapati eating and all that, it may have been different. But I'm an original Munyankore who knows English and has studied the world. This is the advantage really about the stamina. My uncles have just died. They were one of them died at 104 years. Another, Kaguta died when he was 97. But for most of the time he was looking after the cows, even in the 90s. He would go and these children were seeing him. He was looking after the cows. So it is that tradition. If you can imagine a Karamojong, if he doesn't become disoriented, he is a very strong person. That lifestyle there is gives you stamina. So the culture should. I had a discussion with the Nabagereka, and she was trying to talk about the culture. I said, yes, we can audit it. We can audit the culture and see some of the practices which are out of date and remove them, but keep the others which are very strong. So I think it is that combination, the motivation to make sure that you don't become slaves, we don't become slaves, and then secondly, the stamina is from the historical accident of a traditional man arriving in the city. Because they had never seen traditional people. They had people who had become like westernized. I'm not westernized. I'm an original Munyankore who just arrived in the town here. when I came to Mbarara, 1959 for junior secondary. That was my first time to go from the village to the town and see rice, what, all this. And for us, we didn't like those things. The rice, we were giving it a bad name. We were stuck with our things. Even now I eat my mhogo. I don't eat rice. So that is the...
And for us, the chapati eaters, what is our hope?
Katonda Jari. But remember that millet is there. You can come back to millet, you can come back. Because me, I eat millet. They know. I eat millet, I eat muhogo. I eat our food. I don't eat European foods.
You inspire all of us, Jose. We're almost coming to the end, and if you do give us time, if you do have time, I can ask like 3 more people to just add on, but for now we have just 4 questions left. One from Mr. Nyangweso, one from Musa Sekamanya, one from the head of the PPU, Sanda Walusimbi, and I wanted to ask something about the PDM if we have time, but let's first hear from.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year, Your Excellency. My name is Timothy Nyangweso. I work with UBC. My question is something you've hinted on, education and human resource of the country. I was reading the Uganda Education Statistics Abstract Report of 2010. It shows the numbers grew to 8 million plus who are enrolled in primary school. Secondary school, it goes to 1.1 million. Then tertiary, it goes to 174,000 people. The question that I'm asking, Your Excellency, you have solved the quantity problem, number of children getting to school. The biggest question now is on quality. What do you envision as quality human resource over Uganda?
Even the quantity is not fully solved. Because as you said, there are 8 million in the primary school, which is 7 years. Then you go to the secondary school, you find only 1 million. What has happened to the 7 million? And the secondary school system is 6 years, almost up to A level. So that means there's a big number of school dropouts. So even that one is not fully addressed because the local elite, because of their have not implemented UPE properly. They still bring back charges which chase children from the school. That's how you have the difference between the 8 million plus versus the 1 million. That means a big number have dropped out, which is what we are going to resolve in the coming Bisanja, because in the government schools, I would like to get completely free education. Like I'm giving in the skilling hubs, the one they were showing you here, children study free. Now on the issue of the quality, the quality, some elements of it are good. For instance, science education, in medicine, in engineering, in the sciences, it's good. It's good. You get very good scientists. But the problem was in the big numbers of social sciences. Because of the culture of administration, people wanted to be administrators, to be office workers. But that one we are addressing in the new curriculum by really going to the yoga, to the skills in the educational system. So it will be handled. Some of the quality is good because of the intellectual side, science, intellectuality is very good, some of it. But globally, the emphasis on social sciences created a lot of people who are not fitted for the job market, for the economy. That's how you get all these unemployed graduates, children who have finished university but cannot get jobs. So we are handling both. We shall handle both the quantitative, which is not fully implemented, and also the qualitative, by emphasizing skills. You can be a social scientist, but do farming, that's a skill. Do farming, do something which is needed in the job market. Mm-hmm.
It was Mr. Nyangweso, and then I think I have Musa.
Webale nnyo Natasha. Mzee bampita Shafik Mukulu, Chairman Ghetto is Yellow.
Okay.
Bampita Shafik Mukulu, Chairman Ghetto is Yellow. Mzee nze ngenda kwogera ku bintu bya ghetto. Ngoberedde nnyo campaign zo zogera nnyo ku PDM. Naye ku PDM wetuba twogetu oli mu kujja Kampala mu campaign. Kampala ejjudde abapangisa. Tuli bapangisa waliwo abaana bakulidde ku street eyeetaaga ettaka, eyeetaaga space. Otegekedde ki abaana b'e Kampala nga ffe aba ghetto?
Ab'e Kampala nabategekera dda. Bw'ogenda waliwo eri munda oyise Kasangati, waliwo abantu ba workshops zenatandika nabo. What do they call those villages beyond after Kasangati?
Gayaza.
Migera. You what? I've got a lot of groups which have supported. The groups nyingi zempagide is workshops. Like here there was a group here in Serbia of furniture. Nabawagira. I supported groups in is it Nigeria. There's a girl there called Chiwewesi. You can go and check on her. We supported their group. So we can support artisanship in the town. Artisanship, services of weather, border borders. Border borders is urban. Border borders, you can see them there. Chigo. Let me come back. That's 1 minute. You can see them there.
Hello. In the meantime, we can continue with our introductions. I think we'll stop that side. Sir, introductions. Quick introductions before music.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year. My name is Emmanuel Lumala Dombo, Director of Information at the NRM Secretariat.
Yes, all right. Happy New Year. God is good. Twebaza nnyo Katonda olwa kino kyatutuusizaako. Amanya gange nze Jennifer Fulfiga, ndi President's Advisor, Sister wa Natasha. My sister, I want a new photo with you. Ntandike na kyo guno omwaka. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jacqueline Narinda, aka Madam CEO, Madam Coffee. I'm a Muzukulu.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Robert Sharp Mugabe. I work with Government Citizen Interaction Center as the Deputy Director.
Mugamba mutya basebo ne banyabo amanyi abo Kenya Media oba Kenya Nelson oba Kenya Media
ne banyawo mubye baleko amanya gani bamutya Ronald Mukwana CEO PL on TV.
Basebo mubye baleko ne banyawo mubye baleko amanya gange nze Nachanzi Sumaya aka Maya nga ku social media nkozesa NRM Warrior. Thank you.
Balamusiza basebo ne banyabo amanya nze Zakia Lucky nkola ne UBC everything to do with tourism era nkola ne Miss Tourism Uganda and a stylist at Zack Styles.
Good afternoon. My name is Maureen Babidia. I'm a news anchor with UBC Television.
Happy New Year. Good afternoon to everyone. My name is Steve Washington. I come from 100.2 Galaxy FM Zina and Galaxy TV Jikonkoni.
Good afternoon. My name is Sky Soldier representing to the world. I'm the CEO Sky Soldier Media everywhere you go.
Good afternoon. My name is Jisui David, Good Times Media.
Good afternoon. My name is Muinda Innocent, CEO, Innomite Media.
Good afternoon. Happy New Year. My name is Rachel Namsoke, CEO, Rumpe Media UG.
We will continue later. Mzee is coming. Thank you.
So we are very conscious tukimanyi nti omutawuni ebitundu ebimu bya tawuni muyinza kukola gye tuyita peri-urban agriculture ebiri balibali eyo nga Kazo, Nansana, oyinza kulunda enkoko, emanju, naye mu tawuni wakati waliwo ebyobugaga ebikwatagana bulungi ne tawuni. Artisanship, carpentry, metalwork, shoemaking, knitting and weaving. We have been skilling many youth in Kampala here. She has been skilling. Where is the Myoga? They are there. They were showing some here. Can you show them those activities on the TV? Then services, border, bakery, all those for the town. That's what we emphasize. Tuchumanyi, I know it. I will not be talking about PDM in Kawempe because it's not so much applicable as it is in the rural areas. Okay?
Thank you, Mzee. We're almost coming to the end. We have a question from Mr. Sandawalu Simbi. Then we have a response to Kasuku Katende's question. I think someone wants to respond to him after Sanda. Moses Birhanga will respond, and then if you allow, we can have 2 more questions depending on your time.
Okay.
Thank you, Natasha. I'll just quickly go back and tell Mr. Simon, those chapels of Bugolobi, we should stop. Now, Your Excellency, as the world shifts towards multipolar power centers and rapid technological change, like AI comes to mind, digital trade automation, cryptocurrency, etc. My question is, what strategies will ensure that Uganda is not left behind? And how can Uganda leverage global diversity in wealth creation? Thank you, Your Excellency.
Uganda, what is crucial is African integration. If that one is happening, then there's nothing else that the rest will be easier. That's why our emphasis on the East Africa, so that East Africa operates as a common market, but even better as a political federation. But in the short run, at least as a common market. And we are moving well on that. If we have that, and then we have the rest of Africa as a market, where we sell and buy from, there's nothing that will stop us. Others may work with us, they may not, but we shall survive and thrive. So Africa is the crucial area of operation. The rest is additional. Then, okay. Now about the multipolar, that's all right, because hegemony doesn't work. Hegemony is people trying to control the world. It's very dangerous for you to try that. That's how Austria-Hungary collapsed. Because Austria-Hungary was, first of all, Rome. You remember Rome, the Pope? The Pope was trying to control the whole world. That they were Christian, because they had become Christians, so he wanted to control all of them. So much so that when Henry VIII wanted to marry another woman, then the Pope made it his business to go and stop him. That's how problems started. England broke with the Rome. And the wars, the Spanish Armada, 1588, when they tried to invade England. A lot of unnecessary trouble, but if you try to dominate, it's better to work with people rather than trying to dominate. Then, after the Pope failed to dominate the Christian world, after so many wars, they caused a lot of wars. Then, when capitalism came, the French Revolution, 1789, there was a man called Metternich in Austria-Hungary. He was the chancellor who tried to exterminate capitalism, tried to invade France, and it ended up destroying the whole of the empire of Austria-Hungary. So Martipora is unstoppable. Can't stop it. You can't and you shouldn't even try. It's good. What they should aim at is win-win. Because I've been telling some people, why do you want, because like now, you're wonderful Africa. I don't know whether you have those computers which you go with, you don't work, you sleep. Me, I don't have any computer with me. Just keep them far away. Even the phones, I don't go with them. But for you, always with them. Stops you from thinking. But you can check. Your wonderful Africa, the GDP, I think now is like 3 trillion. The whole of Africa. Do you have your phone? You check now. The GDP of Africa. Me who doesn't go with phones, I have it in my head. I think it's about 3-point-something trillion.
3.1 trillion.
Imagine, the whole of Africa. Of Gagabo Africa.
Traveling the world? Just arrived to a new destination? Don't know how to get around or how to do it on a budget? 12go.com.
All the dancers in Pakachini, all the... Now you check the GDP of United States. I think it's about 30 trillion. 30. Check the GDP of the United States.
31 trillion.
30.3. 30.6.
31 trillion.
About 31 trillion. So you imagine, people, United States is a quarter of Africa. Africa is 12 million square miles. United States is 3 million square miles. You can fit USA into Africa 4 times. It will fit there. We are 1.5 billion now. The United States is 300 million. So, for them to have so much money when we are so much wealth. And what I've been telling these friends, of course, the problem is first of all us, you people, the influencers. Because the influencers, Bakatende, they're influencing people in the wrong direction. Instead of orienting them in the right direction of value addition, because the biggest problem of Africa is producing raw materials. Losing the value, hemorrhage, narishuma ekigambo, elinya ekikulukuto. Remember I used that when I was with the other Gen Z. You must stop the ekikulukuto. The hemorrhage, this is a sickness among women sometimes. Banyangore call it a cherriso. This ekikulukuto of Africa must stop. Losing money, losing jobs. And it is that which creates this poverty. So I have been asking to answer your question of Martipora, what? I've been asking my Western partners, you people, why do you want to trade with poor people? Why would you not see that it is new advantage? Now Africa, if Africa was like, because if you take the GDP of US, which is 30 trillion, for 300 million people. That means that each person has got like $60,000 or what per capita would be what for the US? Maybe about what?
$60,000?
Yes, about $50,000. Now, if Uganda, if Africans, 1.5 billion of them, if they were not necessarily 50, even if they were like 30,000, what will be the GDP of Africa? 30,000 times 1.5 billion. Like 45 trillion?
50 trillion. 450 trillion. 1.5 billion times.
No.
It's 45 trillion, Your Excellency.
45 trillion. Yes. That should be at least if we were there. Would it not be, wouldn't America do better business with us if we had money in our pockets? They could sell us more planes, they could sell us more this, more that, more that. So why would you want, if you are a clever, I can see that some of these Western thinkers are also not good planners. Because Africans are friendly to Europe. We speak English. I don't speak Chinese. I don't speak Russian. I speak English. I am a man of Shakespeare. So why don't you take advantage of me and you do business with me? But in order for you to do business with me, I should have money in my pocket. So if you come here and you want to take my, because now when they take unprocessed gold, when they take unprocessed gold, percent pure, they give like $60,000 per kilogram. When it is processed to 99.9%, like the one in Busia there, it goes for $100,000. So in a kilo, would be losing like $50,000 per kilo of gold if you sell it unprocessed, unprocessed. If you process it, you use more electricity, local. You create jobs, you get more money. And in that way, I can buy more from the US. That's what I'm telling them. You people, wake up. Don't want to maintain poverty in Africa. This 3 trillion is a shame. And you have got all these influencers. What are they influencing the banana? Right? Kateni. Influencers banana. I want to mbalagawa. Africa must have a GDP, because very soon, in the next 30 years, we shall be 2.5 trillion, 2.5 billion. We shall be a quarter of the human race, but disorganized. So that's why I want you to be organized. The bali benasinkana lwakitula Jazzi waliwo muzukulu wange Sandra
is here actually.
Sandra?
She's here. She has a testimony.
Oh, amatoke gaffe gatuusewa.
Kwati omuzinda alunda.
Happy New Year, Mr. President.
Happy New Year, Sandra.
How are you?
Very fine.
Thank you so much. Bana ikansoke nkwebaze Mr. President kanfukamire nako. Fukamire wano wondaba.
Abanyangule tebafukamira. Bafukamira Katonda yekka.
Anze kankufukamire ne yanziza nnyo amatooke gatuuka. Bampa bunches 5 nengatunda. Naye kakati kapita tena era still nagana okuwera. kati nengera mu kampani yange ya ushering agency gye nnina kuba nina abaana balingana beemployinga kati mwe nayongera
wajjamu sente
nagajjamu 25 gyokka
5 bunches.
Yes.
Gonna congregate some more bunches.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you so much.
Osibukawa.
Nsibuka Matugga Katalemwa.
Wano ewaffe.
Awo nyini Bob Road.
Otwalwa naawo.
Awo nyini. Yes, Mr.
Walito tolabanga ku matooke. Tewali matooke eyo?
Tetulinayo gonna twagatema.
Kyafuuka kibuga kati.
Kati tewakyali nindagago opozi. Tewakyali matooke ngenda kulindagago.
Very good. Sandra nokumwongera bunches nga 10 ndowooza nga 10 zigenda kwengera.
Nazo tujjazi oba tugenda kuteesa Mr. President ekyokukola ekituufu.
Kale Sandra. Now, the reason how I linked up with Sandra, she was Como Sandra. Sandra was pleading for imports. Until to say, no take a come solo ko inviri z'abafu eziva bweru ntuwandire enviri z'amafu nizingira bwerere. Nimugabo nti nedda muzukulu enviri z'abafu zirina okwereza omusolo zemujja bweru bwemba mwagala enviri ezawano mukozese wano kyewala bafu wano mubajje oba mukozesa ebyayi muleke kuleeta enviri z'abafu z'ebweru kaweke kati zino za kaluzosa karufuwa za karufuwa eziva bweru zirina okuweereza emisolo kati kwe kumugamba muzukulu nemugamba nti bw'oba tayagala kuweereza omusolo genda ntunga mwewaffe ogula amatooke ogaleete Kampala awo tekuli musolo gwonna internal distribution. Because they talk about taxes. Yes, we are taxing, but taxing imports. Not only imports, but luxury ones. We don't even tax medicine. We don't even tax machinery. We tax luxury items. So that's how I linked up with the business, internal distribution. Amatoke, okugaja ntunga munagalete eno, ebikalu, oricho wete ebikalu. Ebikalu okubigola kibuga eyo n'obireeta eno mubende produce. So you see you got some money from the bananas. Very good.
Your Excellency, to add on what you mentioned when Kasuku asked the question about digital, your government has done a lot. For instance, Mr. Kasuku was talking about the digital employing the youth. Under business processing operations, BPOs, today 25,000 youth in Uganda are engaged in BPOs, working for companies outside Uganda while they are here in Uganda. And one for 25,000. What has also enabled that is the cost of internet has gone down from $70 per unit in 2018 to now 35. We are now reducing the cost of internet, and also the speed of internet has significantly improved from second generation, which is 2G. Now we are at 5G. So that's why we are able to do this TikToking at a faster speed as if it was in Europe. Lastly, Your Excellency, what was our Nokuchaba Gen Z? Sorry, ghetto youth. Your Excellency, ngoita mu office yo ya State House Controller, watekawo saako ez'aba youth buli division mu Kampala wasuka na milioni 10 kati oyongeddemu biliyoni emwemu bagenda kuzifuna mu biseera kyali byawala buli division. Kati kitwetako ba youth bano training them into skills babeko kyebakola kyebasobola okwekolera ninga balina kasente basobola okujja saako bajjeyo mu banka yaabwe beewole ku magoba ga wansi ennyo basobole okukola bizinesi. Ate Your Excellency also ofiisi yo eri mu kuzimba workshop Mulago wane Kawempe emu common user facilities ng'abakola engatto abakola bags ensawo oli aleeta buleesi leather material n'agenda wali byuma byonna bwebiri babiguze mu ebiri kontwali yamaze okubigula mu ebiri mu workshop eyo bisobola okukozesebwa. Abaagala okukola ebitabo tulina section y'ebitabo, tulina ey'engatto, tulina ey'ensawo, tulina abakola amasweta knitting ebyuma ebikola goleeta wuuzi ne bakutungira balina ofuluma n'ensweta zo basobola okukola esweta nga 10 buli lunaku nga ez'enjawulo kala ez'enjawulo okusinziira ky'oyagala n'ebirala. Pulezidenti yatunuulira omuntu wa bulijjo yatuma wano ttiimu yaffe n'agamba waliwo abantu bano abendaba abatunda amenvu ku nguudo mu bibbo. Pulezidenti n'atutumayo ne tubasinkana n'aweerezayo ka kapito simitwalo 10 buli omu n'atuma waliwo mumanyi abatoninyira mukange abatunda emmere eyidde ekiro bantu nga 1,000 mu Kampala. Pulezidenti bonna yabatuukamu n'abaweerezaayo kapito 10,000 buli omu, 10,000 buli omu, ab'ebigaali 10,000 buli omu. Kati ofiisi ya kontrola era etuuse mu ba boda ebateereddewo looni ey'essente za wansi mu saako zaabwe. Kati ne boda ne ku PDM yennyini kituufu PDM erina okwakuliza bwe tugenda okujjamu for urban areas twabanze okubitegeera tugenda kubujjamu bo basobole okukola ebyenjawulo ebitali bya agriculture. Ate sente mu Kampala abakafuna mu PDM bali 3,000 amaka 3,000 naye Wakiso 5,000 naye zino wa Kampala ne Wakiso kati mu kisanja ekijja kubanga tugenda kuwangula sente tugenda kuzongeza zive ku milioni 10 buli mwezi ofisiyoli buli mwaka zibire milioni 3 buli mwaka. Naye ate kwezi ebisatu 30% z'abavuuka twakitegeeza milioni 9 zijja kubeera z'abavuuka. Ate abavuuka bazifuna batya? Ku kakiiko ka saako y'omuluka chairperson wa Youth Council w'omuluka ogwo abeera memba. Kitegeeza ba chairperson baffe ababavuuka balina okulwanirira ensonga z'abavuuka balabe mbu bwe tubeera abagenda gaba ssente ezo abavuuka bawera enamba yaabwe 30% zigenda kubavuuka. Webale Your Excellency.
Thank you so much for that.
Two last questions you wanted.
No, I think I'll leave mine for today. I will ask Katende, who had the influencer you have kept referring to, Kasuku, to say something on behalf of all of us who are here, to thank Jose for the time that he has given us, and maybe to say something about in the line of your work. Huh? Okay.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. For starters, it's a Thank you, Excellency. Thank you for the time you've given us to come here and have a chat with you. I know you have a very busy schedule, but you've taken time off to allow us to come here and have a few words with you. I'm a digital content creator, and yeah, you've said certain things about the internet and how it works, but I still feel if you allow, through Natasha, we want to engage you more with the digital content creators to make you understand our job. There are so many people who are employed through digital content creation. Maybe we can see how we try to explain to you what our job entails. How do we harmonize to bring it into most of the ideas you have about taking this country forward? Because most of the youth we are trying to talk to, the youth, the government says right now are the biggest population. They are dealing with digital and digital content creation. And we really need the government to come and we work together to harmonize with us, to enhance with us, to support us in all the ways possible as to be part of the government's programs going forward. So I don't know if you could allow us, we get some time.
You make proposals. You make proposals and bring them to Natasha.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Finally, as before I give a vote of, they always tell us when you go to visit your Jajja, they pack for you things, matoke, sweet potatoes and what. So the people told me as I came, they told me, don't forget to tell Jajja that we are here. He should pack for us some things, give you, and you bring, we enjoy. Ask Jajja. I said, well, Luseke moving, Luseke coming. Said yes. So as a Jajja, I'll be waiting. You load me with the things for the bazukulu out there, and we go. I know you don't like dancing a lot, but man, we want to have a good time. So yes, we want to go out there and we enjoy ourselves here and there after we've seen our Jajja. Other than that, thank you very much for your time, and we hope you give us more of these engagements. May not be us necessarily all the time, but to those other people, because now we feel we are closer to you. I had never seen you one-on-one real time. So I used to say, hey, because growing up they told us, so now I'm looking at the man, I'm like, wow, the guy is here. So it's a pleasure, and thank you, Natasha, for picking me out to represent all the other YouTubers out there. And I hope, like the president has asked, we are going to engage more with you, and you help us push the agenda. Mr. President, we are not bad people. We are only trying to...
2025 is made of moments worth celebrating, starting with our favorite, celebrating you.
So if we get into good books with you, I don't know who's told you people are misusing the internet, but well, those who are misusing it are few, and you can always cap them out. But the biggest part of us, we are really doing well on the internet. So thank you very much for your time, and we hope to see you again. Thank you.
Okay, regarding the Okorongora is when people come, the way you reward, you give them gifts. I don't want to go to prison because I'm a candidate. So if I Korongora people, I'll be arrested for bribing. So I think we shall have to wait after the election, then we sort out issues. Do we have a lawyer here? An lawyer? Huh? But Dombo knows, she's from the security. Well, what is the policy on gifts?
Hello. Your Excellency, there are certain activities accepted within the framework of the campaigns. For instance, the people who have come here have spent transport in truck in coming here.
That one I can refund.
Now for the other gifts, they will be best suited, Your Excellency, if it can be arranged after the elections and they come to congratulate you, then it would be a better time for it to happen. But the most important thing now is that they came from somewhere, they must go back and they spend on the way when they are coming. If you could, as you wish, and facilitate them to go back.
That one I will happily do. 1 million, 1 million.
That will be pleasant. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
That one I would happily do. I would even have done more, but now, Sagara Gena Mukomera. Okay.
Thank you, Mzee, so much for. Thank you, Mzee. Yes. Thank you, Mzee, for the time you have given us. And I trust that we will come back together. I hope you'll give us a chance to come as we are and also add on a bigger group. Like you have said, we can come and, is it called Kujaguza, and like celebrate with you, God willing, after the elections. We come as we are, and then the Vazukulu and Kasuku and all these influencers can, we can get gifts and do all sorts of other fun activities, but after the elections.
So then we can have a group photograph there?
Yes.
They can organize it. Some chairs there and then others stand?
Yes.
You organize.
Thank you so much. We want to thank you so much for the time. Jajja, for giving us wisdom, and we thank you so much.
How many are they? So somebody organize them? How many?